Hey, welcome to this episode. So today I'm joined by Jimmy Fitzgerald. Jimmy has been working at ServiceNow for 10 years, and you just, it was your last workday a few days ago, and your last position was the Senior Vice President at Customer Outcomes at ServiceNow. You also now decided to join in as an investor and a board member at Happy Signals, as you see one of us as one of the key players in the ServiceNow ecosystem. And also, you told that customers always love the Now platform, and that's why you still want to be part of the ServiceNow journey. So, welcome, Jimmy. Please share your story.
Thank you, Pasi. As you mentioned, I've just wrapped up almost a 10-year stint with ServiceNow, an amazing experience. Joined the company back in 2011, ran our professional services teams for a couple of years, helped start our ecosystem with relationships with KPMG and Accenture and so on. 2013, decided to move myself and my family to Singapore, where I spent 5 years kind of building and leading our Asia Pacific and Japan business. And then at the end of that great experience, came back into global to really take our professional services and our customer success teams to the next level of maturity. And we created this new business unit that you mentioned earlier called Customer Outcomes. And I was in the privileged position to lead that team globally over the last 2 to 3 years. And then at the end of my ServiceNow career, I really started looking at how do I continue to be part of the ServiceNow family. It's an amazing platform, an amazing company. I think its best days are still in front of it. So I started a process around how do I make sure that I leverage my experience and help one of the ecosystem partners take what they do to the next level.
Cool. And I think kind of where it came to like how you found us and how the topic came into interest was that you talked to the CIOs of Now platform customers, and they mentioned these 3 things to you that they are looking for. So what were those 3 things?
I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with, over the 10 years, I would say hundreds and hundreds of executives across our customers globally. And as you start to engage with these executives, the patterns of what they're asking you for are very, very similar. So I really bring it down to 3 really important needs they have of ServiceNow. The first is they want to ensure that the platform that they've invested in, the ServiceNow platform, is governed and well structured and well architected. So they don't want to over configure, over customize. They want to make sure it remains an asset on their balance sheet. That's number 1. Number 2 is they want to make sure that they're delivering great experiences to their end users, and clearly that's where Happy Signals comes in. And number 3 is as we work with them from initiative to initiative, it's really important that we always deliver on an ROI. Every program, every project has to deliver the outcome that we signed up for together.
Yeah, and I think the whole name of your unit already, Customer Outcomes, is what we preach in our things, moving IT from the output to actually the outcomes. So let's talk on one of those topics, which is employee experience. And as we see that really should be the outcome of what you do with ServiceNow. And we see, if you think about the all 3 things in IT, which is people, processes, and tech, we see that ServiceNow, with all the workflows that it provides, is the market leader in the processes part. You can definitely do and automate and create excellent processes to create excellent digital services. How we see at Happy Signals is that we are in the people part, seeing how people feel, how happy they are and how much time they are wasting with some of the IT services. How do you see this? And is that something that has been kind of being a trend nowadays, kind of rising trend that people start to care about really the end users, not just creating those IT processes for IT itself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think over my time at ServiceNow, it's no longer good enough to just move to a new technology and kind of re-engineer your processes. Customers' expectations is that as ServiceNow delivers this great technology and great processes, that we're really making the everyday lives of our end users better, right? And you only know if you're doing that if you're measuring that experience and then acting on that feedback. So I really think that customers are looking for help and how they continue to listen and sense what's going on with their end users, take that feedback, and then how do we make it better? It could be a small change, it could be a big change, but on a continuous basis.
All right. One of the things that we try to achieve and kind of how we see is that happy signals really gives you the signal, and then ServiceNow allows you to do the action. So how do you see happy signals helping the ServiceNow customers on this front, giving them focus? And
yeah, the vast majority of ServiceNow customers today, they see ServiceNow as one of their 3 or 4 strategic platforms. So it's not a tool for them, it's very much a platform. And therefore, they're looking at a relationship that's measured in decades. It's not a short-term thing. So, and then because it's a platform, it's got the potential for our customers and our partners and ServiceNow to deliver project after project after project, new initiative, new workflows. And with every one of those projects, if you think about why they're being initiated to make the life of a user more efficient, more engaging, to make the world of work better for people, which obviously is the ServiceNow purpose. So, as ServiceNow and our ecosystem of partners are delivering on those experiences, we need to make sure that they're optimized. And again, the only way to do that is that you measure, right? You have to listen and sense what's going on with your end users. And that's why I really love the Happy Signals platform and the integration with ServiceNow, because you have the ability to really understand how the end users are consuming that experience, and then bring it back to the central program, the process leads, the executives, to look at what's coming back from the end users, and then importantly, act on it, prioritize and act. And that circle of continuous improvement just goes on month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year.
Yeah. It's something that we call the experience management wheel. You can find more on our website on that. But then something that I think what we are all driving with IT is, of course, the return on investment. And that's why 2 things that we measure is, of course, the happiness, but then is the productivity. Do you see that currently, is this something that the customers are trying to achieve, create productivity improvements?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think every single technology initiative that gets funded today, it's very different than maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Now, whoever initiated that funding and got the funding approved, they have to account for the ROI at the end of that transformation. So, and I think that's happening consistently across every single ServiceNow customer. So the ROI is the name of the game. If we don't deliver an outcome, there is no next project. Yeah. So we're kind of defeating the purpose of the very nature of the platform itself, because I like to say a good project or a good implementation never ends, because you deliver on an outcome, the ROI, and then you continue with your next initiative. And, there's obviously lots of ways of measuring ROI, and customers will do it. Sometimes ServiceNow partners will do it. Sometimes the ServiceNow team itself will do it, the Inspire team. But ultimately, if your users are not using the application and not having a positive experience, you're likely not having a very good ROI. There's a very strong correlation between user engagement and the ROI. And again, comes back to the value proposition of Happy Signals.
Yeah, that was kind of my follow-up question, that how do the ServiceNow customers, if they don't have Happy Signals, how do they measure the productivity? I mean, is it based on some research? Is it based on something? But because if you're not really asking from end users, are you now wasting less time than it used to? Is it something that you can really prove? Is it something that they can quantify?
Yeah, clearly there's, with performance analytics from ServiceNow, or just, analytics that maybe a partner brings to the table. There's ways of looking at if the key KPIs have improved over time, right? The mean time to resolution, or whatever the different metric is, even measuring maybe other critical KPIs. But I think the key thing is that they're not measured on a continual basis. They're typically measured on a quarterly basis or an annual basis, and like it kind of stops and starts. And normally maybe customers are even doing it as a reaction to feeling like they're not getting the ROI. Whereas I think what's really needed is how do you constantly get that feedback and prioritize and act on that feedback? And that's how you optimize ROI over the long period of time, is that continuous improvement. I think you called it the experience framework.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think probably last year, 2020, showed that things happen. And if you're not continuously measuring, there was one customer who had just done like a yearly IT survey in January. And then in March, world had changed totally. And then they had to act on it. And I think what 2020 showed, that IT departments are really good at acting. They make an excellent job if you focus them, okay, just make the end users happy. And you know that are they happy or not. We showed it in our benchmark reports that actually during COVID, IT happiness went up, which is amazing. When you kind of
I saw
let
that
the IT free in a way.
I saw that content or white paper, and it was even amazing how you were able to, because of the sheer volume of input you're getting from users aggregated across many customers and many countries, you could see how IT organizations are responding by country, which is pretty amazing, right? So, the world is fast moving; it's only getting faster, and therefore this signal to action, duration of time is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter.
And there will be in April an event coming out. It's Regit Benkaiser, RB. We have a case webinar coming out of that, so you can check our social feeds for more information. But what they were able to do, they started their journey in January 2019, and I think this comes to them creating those small things and having continuous measurement and all the time seeing what makes the impact and what doesn't. They were able to save 51 minutes from each ticket. And they're a global company with 300,000 tickets annually. So in 2020, they actually saved 250,000 hours from the business end users. And this is quantifiable, asking from the end users how much of your time was wasted. It's not measured in a process somewhere or mean time resolution, which kind of doesn't really show in the people box. It might show in the process box. So I think this is really powerful. So if the listeners want to learn more on that, they can, It
was a great case study. And I think what's really important to understand as well, it's not just a 250,000 direct saving.
Yeah.
Now they have that time to work on something that's delivering greater value for the enterprise, right? So there's an opportunity cost that they've also then, been able to execute on as a result of the productivity gain.
Yeah, and not even think about the lack of frustration and how that motivates you to create better external customer experience for that company's customers, actually.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, the third thing you mentioned was having Now platform as a strategic platform and not customizing it, not over-customizing it. I think this is something that when you worked years in IT, I've done this with multiple platforms myself earlier when I was working for an IT company, that as an IT person, you want to tweak it and you want to make it just like you want it. But I think the world today is rather that you have a good base platform like the Now platform, and then you use the partner ecosystem to actually have apps that extend that capability. And I think that's probably one of the reasons that why we are here is that we have really decided as Happy Signals to be that extends ServiceNow. So, for example, if you're interested in starting the trip to XLAs, experience level agreements, you can just deploy Happy Signals, and you don't have to touch and customize and try to put those things in the ServiceNow. Is this something that you have seen the customers asking that?
Yeah, I think there's the main benefit, of course, that you articulated is that we're then avoiding the need to, do heavy configuration or customization of the ServiceNow platform.
Yeah.
That allows the platform to be preserved. It's easier to upgrade. We're able to customers are able to consume the innovation, the constant innovation coming from ServiceNow and the ecosystem. That's absolutely one benefit. I would say the secondary benefit is customers today need to move fast. So time to value is critically important. You've done this with many, many customers. You have patented technology, patented processes around how you're measuring the experience.
Yeah.
And why go create something for, a universal one when you can leverage a best practice? So I think the time to value saving for our customers here is also really material.
Yeah, true. And yeah, I think we see that now platform is really good for partners like us. It really gives us the ability to, get the stuff that we need from ServiceNow, bring the information back to ServiceNow that we believe that our customers need to have there. For example, the experience data comes back, and then they can also leverage that internally. But then you have stakeholders like some business users that maybe don't go into ServiceNow. So you can actually easily show the experience data and share that data through our platform. Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you, Jimmy. Any last words of what are you looking for the next couple of years with us, and where do you see Happy Signals going?
Yeah, I think the need of ServiceNow customers around those three, critical foundational components: preserve and govern the platform, give my users a fantastic experience, and make sure we deliver an ROI. As I scan the ecosystem for partners that I feel like really address one or multiple of those three components, Happy Signals came to the top of that list for me. I think experience is going to get not less important, but actually more important for our customers over the next number of years. And I'm hoping to be part of great things with Happy Signals as you continue to scale and deliver success to your customers year on year with the innovation that you're driving. So super excited to be here, and looking forward to helping take Happy Signals to the next level.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's great to have you. And as we usually say in the end of the episode, so stay happy and stay safe.
Thank you, Pasi.
Thanks.